And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry. That's Ryan. We are ready to break down some baseball. I will go over one of the CFL games for tonight. The first game, Hamilton and Toronto. I have no real opinions on. Both teams are kind of bad and even, in my opinion. So that game's kind of a pass right off the bat. But I do have some thoughts here in the later game. We have the Edmonton Elks heading to BC to face the Lions. You can find BC anywhere from minus 333 and other spots minus 400, minus 455. So obviously BC huge favorites here. Looking on the spread, you can find BC minus 9.5 or minus 9, 52s, 51.5s. Depending on where you look. This BC team is very good. The one home game they did lose against Winnipeg. Winnipeg is the best team in the CFL. The other home game against Hamilton, they did only win by 7, so they did not cover the 9.5. But the earlier games against bad teams, kind of like Edmonton, they won by double digits, closer to like 20 or 30 points. So I think we're going to see more of the BC team that we saw earlier on in the year. So I am on BC minus 9, which I got at minus 110. You can still find for minus 110 at a couple books there. If you have to take the minus 9.5, I wouldn't really disagree with that either. I see BC winning this convincingly. They are, in my opinion, the second best team in the CFL, and Edmonton would probably do really well if they were in the East Division with the Eastern teams, but unfortunately they are not, and they are with all the good teams, and they're just not the same team as BC here. So I like BC minus 9 in this one. We will go to the comment. Mike Lennon is coming in and saying, Mike Lennon, welcome on in. Long time no see. But we will go to the first baseball game that I chose for today. A great day for me yesterday. I'll just kind of mention that. 8-2 yesterday. So awesome day. Wanted to kind of take it easy here on today's slate, but I just love a whole bunch of things. So kind of didn't do that here and started with this one. We have the Nationals plus 220 to plus 250. You can find Philadelphia minus 260 to minus 300. You can find 1.5s, 2.5s, 9s, 8.5s in this one. Philly has kind of taken care of Washington here in the first couple of games, and Patrick Corbin was not on the mound in those games. Now he is, and I just wanted to find a way to back the Phillies. Looking at Ranger Suarez, kind of a rough start to the year, but in his last 3 games, he is not allowed an earned run in either of the 3 games, going 5 innings against Miami, 5 innings against Atlanta, and 6 innings against Pittsburgh. He is not allowed an earned run in his last 3 games, and now he is facing this Nationals team, which we all know traded away their best 2 players. So I wanted to look how to back Philly in this spot. I got the team total over 5.5 plus 100, and I do have Philly minus 1.5. Minus 125. Philly's not a team that I really go to jump to back or really excited to back. But against this Nationals team with Corbin on the mound and Ranger Suarez playing really well, I think this is a smash spot for Phillies. Wouldn't talk anybody off going to minus 2.5 in this one either, because I could see this getting kind of crazy. But I'll stick with the team total over and full game minus 1.5. Ryan, Nationals, Phillies? What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't have much to add. Patrick Corbin, is kind of everyone's punching bag. The Phillies are white hot. They've won 8 of 9. They've also covered the red line in 7 of the last 8. And I'm sort of doing funny math because there was one game that was a 4.5 inning rain shortened game. So the run line is a minus 140, and that's the play for me. It's a little bit chalky, but I'm going to play it. There's also a first 5 run line of minus 167, and I'm giving that out as my parlay piece today.
Awesome. You'll have to remind me because I will forget at the end. But
sure. Yep.
Mike Lennon says, what book do I use for CFL? I have access to most of the books that I bring up on the screen, or I'm on most of the books that I have on the screen. So I kind of bet whatever book has the best odds. But yeah, sadly, not all books have it, especially books focused more on American sports. Bryant, welcome back. Nationals Phillies, first game of the baseball slate we're talking about. Should be a good one. What do you think here?
I staying away from this entirely. I have reached my capacity for dealing with both of these teams for the week. So this is one of those situations where I'm just like, I'll watch from afar, root for everyone who's partaking in it. Hope everything works out in the for the best form. But I am sticking. I'm sitting on the sidelines for this one in particular. I would probably lean towards the Phillies here just because they're playing well, and I think that the Nationals are just a shell of an MLB team right now. Like I just don't really think that they're a bet-on team. So that's just my personal opinion.
All right, we will go on to the next one. I may seem like a broken record because in this game here that I brought up the last couple of days, I'm kind of just continuing on with what I've been doing in this game. Right now, you can find Houston minus 154 to minus 170, Cleveland plus 135 to plus 150, 8.5s right across the board in this one. I'm going right back to the Houston run line, minus 1.5. You can get it for plus 107. That is what I got it for. This Houston team is playing really well right now. Cleveland had been playing well until obviously they've come to Houston here. Luis Garcia, Quantrill. I don't think there's a huge pitching advantage. I think it's pretty even here. But I just think the Houston bats are better and will ultimately can keep them to a two or more win lead. And I also took the team total over 4.5 minus 115. Astros team total over 4.5. Sign me up. If it was 5.5, I might not have played it. Obviously at minus 15, I wouldn't have played it. But the fact that it was 4.5, I kind of jumped on that there. The Astros have been doing better offensively as of late. Ryan, Astros Guardians. What do you think here?
I think that the Guardians are a good team. They're just not matching up well against the Astros for this series. And part of it was putting up a prospect, one of those games. Also, I think they're on the wrong end of the matchup on this one. I'm not terribly high on Garcia. He gives up the long ball, gives up a little bit too much hard contact. Not great numbers. 4.7 July ERA. Cal Quantrill, not great numbers either. He gives up a lot of contact. Also, near 5 ERA for July. So I think there's going to be runs from both teams. Houston is trending to the under, and they were the best under team in the league. Cleveland, however, is trending to the over. And the play that I took that you mentioned is the team total over 4.5. That just seems generous to me, and I'm on it.
Awesome. Bryant, Astros Guardians. What do you think here?
Yeah, it's an Astros type of series, man. They've been cooking. I thought yesterday was the day they were going to get got, or the game before that. I thought they might have nabbed Verlander. He continues to amaze and just mow through teams. At this point, I think it's probably safe to say he's probably Cy Young. I don't think they'll give it to Cease because team success. It does. I feel like in a situation like that where the numbers are relatively similar, they're going to lean towards, okay, well, who's got their team in a better position? But ultimately today, Luis Garcia, Kyle Quantrill, Quantrill's much better at home. But I don't really see any real value in getting in front of the Astros as they look right now. Between the Astros and the Jays, they're probably the two best teams in the American League since the All-Star break has started. I don't see any real value hopping in front of them right now. They're on a mission. Quantrill doesn't. He struggles with location, and I think his four-seamer. It has a negative run value, or it has a positive run value, which isn't good against a team like the Astros that hit the fastball really well. So it's the Astros here. I've got them on the run line. That's my personal pick, and that's what I'm running with.
All right, sounds good. We're all aligned here. We'll move on to this next one. Heartbreaking loss yesterday. I'm not going to blame it on Kevin Biggio, but that was not a good spot for him there at the end of the game. The Jays battled back. Barrios, I said yesterday on the show how I always try to defend you, but boy, do you make it hard to defend you when you have games like yesterday. So that was not good. Jays almost battled back, was not quite able to get there. New Day, and they're around the same price, minus 120. Most spots, some minus 125s, minus 130. Minnesota, basically plus 100 to plus 106. And you can find nines. I see 1 8.5 and a couple 9.5s across the board here. Pitching wise, we have Mitch White making his Toronto debut, coming over from the Dodgers. Apparently, from what I've read, a lot of Dodgers fans are really happy for Mitch White because he wasn't really going to get any opportunity with the Dodgers. But here in Toronto, he is going to get a better opportunity. And apparently, he has a lot of potential. So I've liked what I've seen. I bet on him this year with the Dodgers. And now the Jays are going to face Dylan Bundy here for Minnesota. He is obviously much better at home than he is on the road. But even so, he is starting to allow runs at home as well. Obviously, in his last game against the White Sox, he did get a win, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk. But I think here against this Toronto lineup, they're going to be able to hit him. Unlike not being able to hit Molly yesterday, I think they will be able to hit Bundy. And I think the Jays come out a little pissed off from yesterday's loss. And take it to the Twins today. So Jays money line minus 120, pretty basic there. Haven't really added anything else, but I look for the Jays to bounce back in this spot. Ryan, Blue Jays Twins, what do you think here?
Well, I don't have a play on this one. I don't think that highly of either pitcher. They both give up a lot of contact. There's potential for runs in this game. I don't think either pitcher goes very deep, so we're going to see both bullpens a good dose of both bullpens. Edge to the Toronto bullpen. I wanted to bet the over. The trends don't support it, so it's a pass for me.
All right, nothing wrong with that. Bryant, Blue Jays Twins, what do you think here?
Yeah, I know obviously your affiliations and stuff like that. Yesterday was an over day for me. Twins got out piping hot. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is good. And then there was a lull. And I think Matt Chapman got it started. And then eventually the Jays came back and fought back. And Vladdy was the guy that got me over the hump. And the over was the play for me yesterday, and I'm going right back to the well today. I do think that the Jays have the better bullpen, but ultimately, I don't trust Mitch enough, and I definitely don't trust Bundy as he's been relatively the last month and a half to believe that this stays under 9.5 runs. I don't see it. I do not see it. I think that the game is still going to be close. I think it's a very touch and go type of situation. I also think this is a game that could be a very good playoff matchup. And maybe that's what we're seeing. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going back to the over. I can't trust either one of these starters enough, and there's some electric bats on both sides. So that's the one constant and the one bit of this that I do know that I can depend on is these two teams to swing the bat pretty well. So that's where I'm heading. I'm gonna go down a little bit. I'm gonna factor in these starters, and I'm gonna go with the F5 over. And yeah, that's it.
Interesting. What's the first 5? Or like 4.5?
Yeah, it's 4. I saw it at 4.5 when I was capping things. So that's what I'm gonna rock out with.
Awesome. We'll jump into the next one, and that's the Yankees and the Cardinals. You can find the Yankees right now anywhere from -104, -110. St. Louis around -110 to -115. 8.5s right across the board in this one. I did not bet this game last night. I was looking at this game last night. And I've noticed that when I've been betting games the night before, lines have kind of moved against me in some spots. So decided to wait. And of course, it was an 8 yesterday. It's an 8.5 now. It doesn't matter to me. I'm on the over. I got the over 8.5 at -110. You can find it for -114 right now. I would take it here. If you look at the pitchers that we have, there is going to be one pitcher that's really motivated in this, Jordan Montgomery, who was just traded away from the Yankees to St. Louis and now gets to face his old team pretty quickly. So I look for him to be motivated in this game. Domingo Germán, 1-1 with a 6.39 ERA, but hasn't really pitched enough. I think that ERA is kind of inflated. I guess the game against Houston, still he's giving up 5 or 6 hits, at least 2 earned runs. He is walking guys. So I think the Cardinals are going to be able to hit Germán here. So I'm on the over 8.5, and I also took the Cardinals team total over 4.5 at +120. So I like that. I think we'll see runs from both sides, but maybe thinking I want to take Cardinals as an underdog, or I guess they're not really the underdog, but I want to take Cardinals to win because of the way the Yankees have been playing as of late. But even though Montgomery will be motivated against the Yankees, it could go the other way. He could get absolutely lit up facing his former team. It could go either way. So I'm not exactly quite sure which way it's going to go, but I think this game will be a high-scoring game. So I like the over and Cardinals team total over. Ryan, Yankees and Cards. What do you think here?
Yeah, in the end, I ended up not making any plays in this game. I was on the over yesterday, and that did not cash for me. So I'm a little bit gun-shy there. I lean over on this one. The one counterpoint to that is now the Yankees have a couple holes in their lineup because Hicks is not hitting and Benintendi is not hitting. So, you get down towards the bottom of their lineup, and they're just not, not as consistent as they typically are. If you look from afar, like the Yankees is a +100, seems like great value, except I'm not stepping in front of this St. Louis team. They're racking up wins now. I'm not getting in front of them. So in the end, this is a no play for me.
All right. Bryant, Yankees and Cardinals. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I've said that on multiple occasions on this particular show. I like to lean into sometimes I like to lean into larger narratives and motivational factors. And Kev, you're right. Yes, that's one of them. I think part of it is one, New York started coasting, and I think I'm not too worried about them not being able to kick it into gear. But I also think now on the other side, like you mentioned, Monty got kind of screwed. Like, he wasn't even expecting it. It wasn't like his name was floating in trade rumors out of nowhere. None of us, like, as a fan, we did not expect this. No one knew that he was even being shopped. It was just a spur of the moment type thing. And I think Montgomery's going to take that personally. I don't know if it's going to work out necessarily in his favor. He's going to go out here and throw 8 innings of like 1-run ball. I don't think so. But I definitely see him doing the necessary things to keep things more than close for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to light up Domingo Germán. The dude just absolutely should not be in our rotation for baseball reasons and for non-baseball reasons. But yeah, so I think the safe play, and this is me as a Yankee fan, the safe play is the over. Monty has always had a penchant for giving up 2-3 runs. That's his thing. He's going to give up 2-3 runs, but generally speaking, he keeps his teams in the game. That's why we love him. That's why we're going to miss him. He's not someone that's going to go out there, like I said, and throw 7-8 innings, but he's going to keep you in the game. He'll give up a few runs, but he's going to battle, and he's going to give you a chance come the 5th, 6th inning, hand it over to the bullpen, and then you guys just got to figure it out how to win the game from there. So, if you factor in his 2-3 runs that I expect him to give up, but the fact that Germán is a very viable candidate to give up 3, 4, 5 runs himself, and I don't think either bullpen is really untouchable right now. I don't know why you would stray away from the over. And it's hot. It's humid in St. Louis. The ball jumps out the yard in conditions like that across the MLB. I just think that that's the best play in this game, and that's the one I'm going to be on. I feel weird, and so I'm not going to bet against Monty because I know him, and I know this might be one of those situations where he comes out and absolutely shows. So I think the over is the play, and much like Ryan said, I think St. Louis is playing really well right now. Conversely, the Yankees are not, and the pitching matchup is not. Is not, leaning one way or another enough that I can definitively say one team has the advantage there. So I'm going with the over, and that's it. So that way I could just watch for runs. Even in the Yankees loss, I can still hit the over 8.5. So there we go.
All right. Yeah, I just looked up the first 5 here. You can find the first 5 over 4.5. Minus 106 in one spot.
I think that's really good value. Yes.
So, because if Monty's going to give up 2 or 3 runs, I think Domingo Germán will be able to give up 2 runs at least. So that gets you over the 4.5 right there.
Germán has a penchant for giving up a home run. So that's where you really, really, really can cash in on an F5 team total over 1.5 or 2.5 for the Cardinals. He's going to walk some guys, and he struggles with the long ball. So all it takes is a walk, a bloop, and a blast, and there you go.
So maybe some Cardinals home run props as well. I have to look into those.
Yep. I can very well see Paul Goldschmidt hitting a home run tonight, or today, I should say.
Or Matt Carpenter.
Yes. Yeah, he was very close yesterday. And honestly, based on how the game turned out, that might have been a difference in the Yankees winning and losing that game. He flew out to the warning track. I mean, literally at the wall last night. So we'll see.
For sure. We'll move on along to this one here. The Padres are in LA again, facing the Dodgers. I think the Padres and Padres fans will want to forget that yesterday ever happened. I'm going to say, first off, I was on the over 8.5. I went to bed. It was 8-0. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, literally, I put my phone. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because it was bottom of the 8th. The Dodgers struck out. It was bottom of the 8th. And going into the 9th, I'm like, are you kidding me? It was 8-0 for how long? And I'm actually going to lose this over. So I was kind of upset. And then I went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night and quickly looked at my phone, saw that the Padres scored that run. And it's like, thank you so much. So that was awesome. But going to today's game, I'm not going to the back to the over. I'm going to back this Dodgers team. You can find them anywhere from minus 150 and minus 160. You can find the Padres really around plus 130 to plus 125, really across the board. 8.5, some nines. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 140. I got it for plus 140. That is absolutely crazy. That it's that price. And then I took Dodgers first 5 minus a half, which I got for minus 105 as well. This Dodgers team, yes, this Padres team really improved their lineup, adding Soto and Bell. And I really look forward to betting on them. Obviously, they've been kind of overpriced so far. I will be definitely looking forward to making money off them, but not against this Dodgers team. I think the Dodgers kind of showed something last night. I don't think we're going to have a big blowout like last night, but I think the Dodgers take care of business once again. Ryan, Padres, Dodgers, what do you think here?
Yes. So I think a lot of folks on this program are winning on the Dodgers recently, and I'm on that train. I've also been on the over train with the Padres, and so the approach I took to yesterday's game was I did a split bet with a half unit with the over and the Dodgers run line, and with that twist of fate at the end of the game, both cashed, and so I'm going to keep that train going, and I'm going to split a bet on the over 8.5 here and on the Dodgers run line. Clevenger is fairly good. He gives up a lot of hard contact. Somewhat average numbers. Andrew Heaney, he's only going to go 4 innings. They've got training wheels on him. You can trust the Dodgers bullpen, the number one in the league in the last 10 games. I think this new look Padres offense. They're going to get some runs regardless of who's on the mound, and I think the over is a good bet, and I'm going to keep on going with the Dodgers.
All right, Bryant, Padres, Dodgers. Have you been backing the Dodgers lately?
Here and there, but I've been loving the F5s with the Dodgers. With some of these teams, because they've done a really good job of just getting on top of teams and putting their foot on their necks early. Last night was a prime example. I think by like the 3rd or 4th inning, it was like 4-5-0 already. So they're getting out fast, and I love that because sometimes you find better value just betting on the F5 run lines, which I've pushed since I've been on the show. Than you do on full games, and maybe you don't want to necessarily do a full game run line because bullpen's bullpen. But today, I'm going back to the over. I was on the Dodgers and Padres over 8.5 yesterday. I went to bed way before maybe even you did, and so I didn't even know that it was a possibility that you had to sweat that out. When I went to bed, I was like, "Oh, okay, they're cruising. Surely." The Padres will, get some runs on the board, but I'm glad I was not up late because I would have been sweating that out and I would have just not been happy. So anyway, today I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to that same over 8.5. I would actually lean towards the Padres, maybe as a money line bet for the underdog play. I'm not going to play it, but if I had to pick a side, it would be the Padres, simply because I know what Andrew Heaney looks like. He pitched for the Yankees last year. Before he pitched for the Yankees, he was on the Angels. Whatever the Dodgers voodoo magic they were able to do, they've got him to been able to, throw some solid innings, strike out a bunch of guys. But I mean, it was against the Nationals, the Reds, some other offensively inept team as well. So the competition that he's pitched against and he's looked decent against is not up to par. And now you want me to believe that he's going to go up against Machado, Soto, Bell, Drury, and and the rest of that Padres lineup right now, and he's just going to run through them. I can't see it. I think the Dodgers, like was mentioned, I do think the Dodgers have the better bullpen. Their bullpen's been excellent of late. So that's where I think the game kind of stops, and they would take over hypothetically and win the game. But I like both teams to get out and jump on these guys. The Padres have got Clevenger going. Clevenger throws a lot of variations of fastballs, and the Dodgers are second in the entire major leagues in weighted runs created against fastballs. He throws a sinker. It's a fastball with movement. He throws a four-seamer. He throws a cutter. Those are all fastballs. And the Dodgers, they love hitting against fastballs. And because of that, I think that you can see runs early and often, both sides. And I think on a value, like I said, value purposing, I would go with the Padres here. But ultimately, I do think that the Dodgers probably pull it out. But because I'm indecisive there, I'm not going to go on his side, and I'm just going to stick with the over. I like these teams to hit today, and that's what I'm betting on.
All right. You pretty much almost talked me into betting the over right there. So that's awesome. There should be, I wish both of you guys luck.
Yeah. And also, real quick, just before you move on, what was I going to say? Heaney has an ERA close to 5 over his career. Is 23 innings enough to sit there and say that he magically just figured things out? Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, 23
This
innings
is his test. If he can come out and allow one earned run, like go 5 innings.
If he goes 6 innings and goes like 6 innings, two earned runs, I'm like, okay, all right, he might be for real now. He might have really turned the page. But if he gets lit up, then I'm just going to be like, I told y'all so. Like, this is exactly his whole career. Like,
there we go. Bet stamp, use code WILD when signing up. Find the best odds for whatever you are betting on. We'll bring up this Colorado-Arizona game as an example. And we'll go to the first 5, which is one of the bets that I have here. Arizona, first 5, -0.5. You can get that at -118 at Power Play. Everywhere else, it's -130 to -120. So definitely do your line shopping on whatever books you are available to you, and use code WILD when signing up. Going on to last pitch, for me on games we didn't talk about. Obviously, Braves are facing the Mets right now. I already said on a previous show I will not be betting any Mets games for the rest of the season. So I've obviously passed on both games today, and Braves and Mets. My first day not betting any Braves or Mets games. I was 8-2. So we'll see if I can keep the good luck going. And Mets just scored. So it's 1-0 Mets with guys on base. But moving on along, Marlins Cubs, Lopez against Smiley. I wanted to back Lopez here, but Miami against a lefty, no thank you. I can't back them. And I don't really want to back Smiley either. So that game's a pass. Not touching either Angels Mariners game, game 1 or game 2 as of now. May look at it a little bit later. Pittsburgh Baltimore was a lean towards Baltimore, but I didn't get to that one either. Rays and Tigers, we have McClanahan on the mound against Hill for Detroit, Garrett Hill. Obviously, huge pitching advantage for McClanahan, but if you've seen what he's done in the All-Star game and his first start since then, Nick on the show previously said he was at his career high in innings and to kind of watch out for him here, and he has struggled badly. But this is the Tigers, so for a person struggling, perfect team to face, but you can't take them lightly either. So ultimately a pass for me in this one. Tampa should win it, but I'm not getting involved. White Sox, Rangers, same thing, kind of a pass. I was on the White Sox yesterday, and first 5 run line, and Texas team total under 1.5 in the first 5, both cashed, but staying away from it. Giants Athletics, I'm not staying away from this one. Rodon over 8.5 strikeouts, plus 125. He has hit 10 in back-to-back games. I don't think you can back the Giants really right now, the way they're playing. So I'm not going to obviously pick a side in this one. They should be able to convincingly win against Oler and the Athletics, but I can't trust them. But I can trust Rodon to get strikeouts here. So going with the over 8.5 plus 125. Small lean towards the 9.5 as well. I think he can get to double digits again, but not going to take that one. Just the over 8.5. Red Sox Royals, lean to the over there. Did not get to anything yet. Eovaldi was very good in his last game, so ultimately became a pass. Reds Brewers, again, a pass. Brewers not really playing too well right now. Tied now with St. Louis for the division. And I do think St. Louis will win that division. Don't really trust this Brewers team. As I said, Arizona first 5 minus a half. And the only other bet that I have not gone over is a 2-team parlay, Houston money line and the Dodgers money line plus 172. I think that is absolutely insane. I like that there. Houston and the Dodgers both on the money line plus 172. Ryan, the rest of baseball, anything else you want to give out?
Sure. I have a lot of picks, so I'll try to go through this expeditiously. For this first Angels Mariners game, it's Jaime Barria, which means it's going to be an Angels bullpen game, and George Kirby, who could be like the odd man out here for the Mariners. He's their 6th starter. He's been part of the taxi squad, but has really good numbers, low walks, things you want to see for a starter. Barria, I'm not putting too much stake in his numbers. However, the Angels bullpen has surprisingly been very good over the last 10 games, despite being horrific for the start of the season. So maybe we can actually trust this Angels bullpen. T-Mobile Park plays well to the under. So I'm playing the under 7.5 in this game. Oh, and also mention that Seattle has some depth issues. No Dylan Moore, no Julio Rodriguez, and so they don't really have the really good offensive parts to put into these outfield roles that they have. So the total play I'm giving out today is under 7.5 for this game. I also like the Pirates Orioles game. J.K. Brubaker, just not a great pitcher, gives up a lot of walks. Austin Voth has been performing well. He's a converted reliever, has a high strikeout rate. So what I'm looking at is his over 3.5 strikeouts, which is a little bit chalky, minus 145. But that seems really, that just seems really good to me. So I'm on that. I'm also the Orioles have been trending over, and 6 of their last 7 wins have covered the run line. So I'm going to put a half unit on this Orioles run line, which I think is a pretty nice plus 130 price. So I'm splitting my bet between Austin Voth and the Orioles run line. Let's see. I'm skipping the Rays Tigers. I'm skipping the Giants and the A's. I'm looking at these Braves and Mets games. I don't have anything on them yet. Maybe live bet the over on this early game. Maybe I missed the boat because there's already runs happening right now. But great matchup tonight with Max Scherzer and Max Fried. I'm looking to see how the Mets use Edwin Diaz. He's in their back pocket, and he's kind of their ace in the hole. I'm looking for some sort of play depending on how he gets used. And I'm looking for a potential live bet on today's early game that's taking place right now. I think this Reds Brewers game is actually a really good game. 2 pretty good prospects, in my opinion, Nick Lodolo and Aaron Ashby. I'm looking at both strikeout props for both pitchers. I personally don't have access to many props because of the state I live in. However, on BetStamp, I found a 6.5 strikeout prop for Nick Lodolo, and he has this huge K rate. It's like above 13. Small sample size, so there's some risk, but This 6.5 strikeouts, which I'm going to be looking for as soon as the program is over, is my play of the day. I'm also on the Rockies Diamondbacks. This is just like a big pitching mismatch. Merrill Kelly is really good. If his season played out, he probably would have been an all-star if it had played out differently. And he's been one of the more consistent pitchers in the league, since the all-star break. You can trust this guy. The Colorado bullpen is the worst in the league. They blew the game last night. So the Diamondbacks run line at -120 is the play for me. And I believe that covers it. I may take a look at the second half of the Mariners doubleheader later tonight, but those are my plays.
Awesome. Bryant, last pitch.
Yeah. I've got only a few plays. Capping soccer for the EPL, the start of the EPL has had a lot of my attention over the last few days. And we'll have it tomorrow, I guess, as well. But for me, the A's Giants game, Rodon looked good in his last start before the trade deadline. Unfortunately, he was not dealt to the Yankees, which is what I was hoping for. I'm sure you were hoping for.
Yeah, I wanted him for the Jays. I did not want him anywhere near the Yankees. No thanks.
So he is officially a Giant for the rest of the season. And with that, he went through a little rough patch. I know he had the blister on his finger. It really affected some of his starts. He got lit up by the Dodgers, lit up by someone else too. But it looks like that blister is healed. It's no longer an issue. I'm going to the well. One of my favorite bets, the F5 team total under half a run. It was +160. I think he goes through this Athletics lineup. I think he does. He would be the only reason that anyone should be thinking about backing the Giants in this capacity. They stink right now, but the Athletics stink more. However, the Athletics have shown some signs of life. They've upset some teams over the last couple of weeks. They've remained competitive, coming back late in games. And because of that, that's what I said. I'll take Rodon, let him do his thing for the first 5 innings. That Giants bullpen is also very suspect. So after that, I don't know what would happen. To be fair, you could talk me into it that they would be a live dog. Maybe, like I said, after the 5th inning or when Rodon leaves. If the game is close, why not? With the way that they've been playing, the way the Giants look, if they're out like 3 or 4 guys that are critical to that lineup. So that's my personal opinion there. But I just have that F5 bet in that specific situation. I like the D-backs with Merrill Kelly on the bump. Ironically enough, I don't believe in the Diamondbacks as a whole, but you nailed it earlier. When Merrill's on the bump, they're just consistent. They find a way to win games. And I'm gonna keep riding that train in that regard. And I think my last play is the Battle of the Maxes. We got Fried, Scherzer. I wanted to do the under F5 for the full game, or for both teams. But something tells me one of these guys is going to give up a 2-run home run, and I don't know who it's going to be. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to pitch their butts off. But I feel like that 2-run home run is going to come in somewhere in the first 5 innings, and then I'm going to be very nervous because one swing, you automatically are at a push then. And the push isn't bad, but you want to win your bet. You know what I'm saying? You want to win. So I'm gonna stay away from it, and I am going to go with the team that I think has the better offense, and that's the Braves. I'm gonna go with them on the F5 money line. It was +115. I'm gonna roll with it. I know the last time they faced Max did him dirty, or Scherzer, I should say. The last time they faced Max Scherzer, he did him dirty. I think they bounced back and they figure out a way, scratch a run or two across, and I think Fried also has a better showing. So yeah, and I'm not sure how that game goes full with the bullpens. As Ryan mentioned, Edwin Diaz, how does he get used today or in game one? Because if he's using game one, I know they played the Cubs on a doubleheader a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't double dip and pitch him twice then. Do they pitch him twice today because of how significant this game means to their schedule overall? Because the division game and the one team that's chasing them feverishly, like I'm not sure how that goes, but I personally believe that they should if the game is close. These are wins that you have to have. It's August. You're in the middle of a division race. Your closer should be able to get you 3 outs in consecutive games. So we'll see. But because of that uncertainty there with how bullpens are going to be used, is why I can't take the full game. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, everything else is I've already mentioned earlier on, and yeah. Oh, last one I should say. I got the Mariners game 2. I'm going with the flex. Flex has been relatively good. This Angels team is not good at all. And with them going the bullpen game 1, if Detmers gets in trouble, it can snowball because where are they going to after that? They're going to use tired arms that they've already used earlier in the day. And then guys, they just went 10 innings last night. So those bullpen arms are going to be taxed. So that's it for me.
All right. Before we get to the best bet segment, the NFL preview show is in 4 days, Wednesday night. So make sure to tune into that. It should be really interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of different opinions on the different divisions and the teams. So it might get a little feisty at times, but I think it'll be a good show. And we will break that down Wednesday night. Planning for round 6. Stay tuned for the time, the for sure time on Wednesday. I'll announce it. But yes, NFL preview show is on Wednesday. So make sure to tune into that. Go to best bets for today. And we'll start with over or under. For me, Yankees, St. Louis Cardinals, over 8.5 is my total. Tim is going to what would have been my total. He's taking St. Louis team total over 3.5. You can find 3.5 or 4.5, depending on where you shop. I got 4.5 at plus money, but 3.5 is definitely a safer option as well. Bryant, over under. Any thoughts here or any?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going with you on the STL Yanks. I think that's we're going to see some fireworks.
All right, I like it. Ryan, what do you think here? Do you have a total for today?
Yes, I am going Mariners Angels game 1 under 7.5.
Under 7.5?
Yes.
Game 1? Okay. And then we will go to dog of the day. For me, none. No dogs that I am on today. So I did not get to one. Tim is going with the Kansas City Royals. Bryant, is there a dog that you like today?
No, it was going to be the Braves, but I'm not convinced enough to pull the trigger, so I'm off that.
No worries. Ryan, any dog today?
No dog for me.
All right, no problem. That's why it's optional. Best parlay piece for me. I've went to Houston the last couple of days. I do have the Houston Dodgers parlay. I think the Dodgers keep rolling. So I'm going to go Dodgers money line. Dave sent in Houston money line. Tim going White Sox plus 1.5. Bryant, what is your parlay piece for today?
Yes, Yankees team total over 3.5.
Right. Ryan?
Phillies first 5 run line minus 167. All right, I think that's the number I got.
All right. And we will go on to best bets. Dave is basically going to where you just went for your parlay piece, but stepping it up a little bit, going for the plus money minus 1.5 for Philly in the first 5. for 1 unit. I'm going to go to the CFL and take BC Lions -9 for 1 unit. Tim going back to the WNBA, and he's taking the New York Liberty money line for 2 units. So he likes the New York Liberty tonight in WNBA. Bryant, what do you think here for best bet?
My best bet, I know I should have talked about it. Yeah, I'm going to the Mariners money line or run line game 2.
All right. I will find out what odds 1 unit.
Yes.
Right. Ryan, what do you think here for best bet?
Nick Lodolo over 6.5 strikeouts.
Right. I will find out the best odds for that after the show as well. But that is the show. Best of luck to everybody tonight or today. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you again tomorrow at noon Eastern for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.